Hello everyone and welcome to another game of round 4 tiebreaks of the 2019 FIDE World Cup. It's Liren versus Kirill Alekseenko. Alekseenko is, well, the biggest surprise of the FIDE World Cup. He's the only below 2700 player that lasted this far into the competition, and now he has to face King Ding. So the two classical games between the two of them ended in a draw. And now we enter the rapid section. This is the first game of the rapids. Let's enjoy it, as it's just, well, it's a really weird game, but also a very enjoyable one. And also, here is a nice photo of the two of them. It's not from this game, it's from the classical one. The photo is by Kirill Merkuriev, official photographer of the FIDE World Cup 2019. So let's just enjoy it for a second. Nothing out of the ordinary on the board, but we will get in the mood for the game. So there you have it. Now let's check out the game. With the white pieces, Ding opens with c4, the English opening, with e5 by Alekseenko, and now g3, preparing to fianchetto the light square bishop. With knight to c6, knight to c3, and now g6. Black also wants to fianchetto his dark square bishop, bishop to g2, and now d6. With e3 by Ding, preparing d4, and now bishop to g7. With knight to e2, now preparing to castle, and h5. And here Ding replies with h4. With bishop to e6, and now b3. With b3 is a new move already. So already as of move 8, this is now a completely new game. Which is always very enjoyable. With knight to f6, preparing to castle, and now d4. You have to react to this, as the threat is d5. You would win material if this would happen. So e captures on d4, e captures, and now the threat remains. So Alekseenko goes bishop to g4, pins the knight, and now d5, no longer a threat. With castles by Ding, and now queen to d7, connecting... Oh well, everything now. The king can also go to the queen side if Alekseenko decides so. Bishop to g5 by Ding, and now castling king side by Alekseenko. With queen to d2, now developing the queen, connecting rooks. Also bishop to h6 is now possible if Ding wants it. And rook 8 to e8. Ding also brings his rook into the game. We have rook 8 to e1 and now a6. So here Ding plays d5, and this is one of those moments, you know how we always say that the strongest move is with the knight back. Well, this is one of those cases. Knight to e7 is what you have to play here, but here Alekseenko played knight to e5, and believe it or not, even though it's only move 15, black is completely lost here, which is just amazing. No one would expect this, but well, Ding would expect it. So feel free to pause the video here and try to find why is knight to e5 the losing move for black, while I give you a couple of seconds. And, you know, if you need more than a couple of seconds, you know, don't feel bad, as Alekseenko completely missed this. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on punishing such a, you know, move with the knight not back. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, bishop captures on f6. That's what wins the game, because now if you play bishop captures on f6, white plays f4, and the knight is trapped. The knight has nowhere to go. All of the squares here are taken, and the knight has nowhere to go. It's just incredible that so early in the game we would see a trapped piece. So after bishop captures on f6, of course Alekseenko saw that the bishop captures f4 traps a piece. He decided to play bishop captures on e2, now threatening to capture the rook, but Ding says no problem. He says bishop captures on g7, now attacking black's rook on f8, and here bishop captures on f1, now going even after the bishop on g2. But all of this doesn't work. It's not only that the knight was trapped if the bishop on f6 was captured, this also doesn't work for Alekseenko. And now once again pause the video and try to find the absolute best move for white well, while I give you a couple of seconds. For those of you who were able to do it, congratulations, you are an excellent threatener of mate on h8. Still, you know, the rhyme is not intended, but it seems like every other video there's a mate threat on h8. Queen to h6. There it is. So for those of you who just wanted to enjoy the show, now the threat is of course queen to h8 mate, and you have to prevent this. f6 or f5, you have to make room for the king. Alekseenko played f6, and now comes queen to h8 check. King to f7, and now bishop captures on f8. The threat is now queen to g7 mate, as the pawn covers the e6 square. This is also what I will be using for the thumbnail. And now, well, if you play rook captures on f8, it is possible, but then you get queen h7 check, king to e8, and now queen captures on g6 check. King to d8, and now first you're gonna go after the rook, and once the rook is defended, let's say queen f7, now you just pick up the bishop, and you are just up a piece in a much better position. This is unplayable for black. So Alekseenko said, okay, knight to f3 check, at least I'm gonna pick up the rook on e1. Ding said, okay, bishop captures on f3, we have rook captures on e1. And now there are a lot of good moves for white here, but Ding chooses, well, bishop to h6. He doesn't want to force anything with queen to g7. This is just works out just as nicely. And now the problem is that although you have some discoveries, you don't have any nasty discoveries, because all of Ding's pieces are in dark squares. You could grab a pawn. I mean, yeah, it's not really a position where you want to grab a pawn, and also if just bishop e2 check, the king g2 will defend the bishop on f3, so it's not a problem. Bishop to d3 check was played, but now king to h2 by Ding, and now queen to e7. And here again, you're up a piece, a lot of moves are possible, but the Ding finds the absolute best one. He plays c5, and it was in this position that Kirill Alekseenko resigned the game. Why did he resign? Well, because he's down a piece, but also because c5 is such a powerful move. For example, if you ignore the c5 move, what are you going to play? You don't really have a good move. Let's say you play something like bishop to f5 and allow white some initiative. Well, then comes queen g7 check. You're going to get king to e8, queen g8 check, king to d7, king to d7, and now, while the pawn is on c5, just c6 check, captures, and this is now mate. As the queen covers everything here. So this is one of the, nice things about having your pawn on c5. And on the other hand, if you capture the pawn, then Ding's idea was d6, just giving up 2 pawns for bishop to d5 check, and this will of course be deadly. Let's say queen captures, bishop d5 check, now you have to block with the rook e6. Now you're going to eliminate the b7 pawn, just so black cannot kick your bishop away with a move like c6. And after rook e8, you're going to go back. Queen g7 check, king e6, you're going to go bishop to d5 check, king to f5, and now, well, this is just complete madness. Bishop to f7, go after the rook and the g6 pawn. Once the rook moves, you're going to go captures with check, king e5, you're going to go captures with check, king d4, and now after knight to d1, your king is on d4, you don't have any squares to go to. This is just, not that, but you're getting mated very, very soon. So Alekseenko saw that after c5 there was no more point in playing this game. At least this is game 1 of the rapid section, and he will have the white pieces in the next game. So maybe he can defend, maybe he can win against Ding with the white pieces, but since I already mentioned in the previous video that Ding advanced, and I will show it once again. So these are the standings. In the next game, Alekseenko was unable to beat Ding with the white pieces. Ding also won that game with the black pieces, and of course he advanced. Now these are the standings. If you maybe missed it in the previous round, Ding will face Alexander Grishchuk, Nikita Vityugov will face Yu Yang-gi, Jeffrey Xiong, who eliminated Duda, will face Timur Rajabov, who eliminated Shahriar Mamedyarov, and Maxim Vachier-Lagrave, who eliminated Peter Svidler, will face Levon Aronian, who eliminated Le Quang Liem. So yeah, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. Really a wonderful miniature, and it's beyond imaginable that such a piece blunder can occur in the World Cup, in a game between an almost 2700 and Ding Liren. Just incredible. But always when you have an option of going with the knight back, do check if that's a better move than going with the knight forward. It usually is. So, once again, I do hope you enjoyed it. I would like to thank Vivek Padmanabhan, Mohamed Babar Khalil, Robin Weir, Hector Coronado, and Robin Weir once again for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot, I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon. Continuing the coverage of the FIDE World Cup, checking up on your suggestions, and so on. So thank you all, I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your Sunday.